All right, next up, Mr. George Taylor. And this is, by the way, anybody that was here last year, this is going to sound very familiar because we didn't change his introduction at all. Mr. Taylor is one of the longest running presenters at this conference. George likely remembers coming up here when there were only 15 people in the audience. Gas was less than $1 a gallon, and we were all 20 years younger than we are today. And in fact, some of the teenage attendees in this room may not have been born yet or were just in diapers. When asked for an introduction to today's conference, he simply replied, in true George Taylor fashion, "My name is George Taylor, I believe we've met." And so, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the guitar-slinging, La Nada singing, not La Nina like last year, retired Oregon State climatologist and meteorologist from Corvallis, Oregon, Mr. George Taylor.
Hi, I'm George. I believe we've met. I sent Steve my slide, said, I think it was yesterday, and he said, "George, I think you left out a lot. There are none of those really geeky scientific slides and charts and stuff." I said, "Oops." I must have lost him. 20 years.
We need you to speak up if you could.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, we can hear you better.
But I don't think I can do this when I play my guitar. How many of you will help me sing a song today?
Oh yeah, they will.
How many of you will help me sing a song today? Let me say it again.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're not ready yet. I did a forecast in August, and this is actually something I want to complain about a little bit. Sorry, Steve, but what's today, November 17th?
Yeah.
We're doing what will the winter be like? It's already winter. I do a forecast in August, and I'll tell you why. In 1991, I went over to Eastern Oregon. I was in Sherman County at a place called Morrow. Any of you ever heard of Morrow before? Yeah, okay. They grow wheat over there. And I gave a presentation on weather and climate and talked about El Nino, La Nina, and other stuff, and showed a bunch of geeky charts. And in the Q&A session, one of the farmers said, "Can you tell me in the late summer what the winter's going to be like?" I said, "Well, maybe. Why do you want to know?" And he said, "I have to make decisions in September about how much fertilizer to apply to my fields. If it's really a wet winter, then you get a lot more infiltration, so I either have to add more fertilizer, or if I don't, then I have to go back in the spring when the soil is still wet and apply some more, do some top dressing, and I don't like doing that. And if it's a dry winter, we don't get much infiltration, so I don't want to use too much because it kind of goes to waste, so the more precise, the better." And I said, "Well, I can probably do that. What if I'm only right 70% of the time?" He said, "Well, that'd be great. I come out ahead if you do that." I said, "What if I'm 60% correct?" He said, "Well, that's still okay, but yeah, okay, I'll take 60. I said, "What if I'm 50% correct?" He reached in his pocket and he pulled out a coin. He said, "I can do that well." That's when it all started. So that winter forecast, and it was the winter of 91, 92, and I did okay. It was a really dry winter. But I've done it every winter since, and I do it in August because there are a lot of people, and it's not just the wheat growers, other people need to make decisions early. So I guess the implication of all this is, I think it'd be good if we could have this meeting earlier in the year. That's all I'll say. Okay. Anyway, it's posted on my blog, Applied Climate, and that's a picture taken by my son of the three sisters. Okay, so here's what I said in August. I don't know if you can read that. It looks kind of small, doesn't it? Sorry. Well, anyway, September I said would be continued warmer and drier than average. Got lucky there. October I said mild and dry first half, but stormy second half. Wow, got lucky twice in a row. What did I say in November? Just the opposite of October. Stormy, mild first half, but drier second half. Ski areas open by Thanksgiving.
No.
Hey! got 5 days to go. Oh, you of little faith. I heard Clinton use that phrase. Just wait. December, relatively dry and mild. I think things are going to kind of slow down midwinter and into January. And then February, it's going to kind of pick back up again with quite a bit of rain. I said 50-50 chance of low elevation snow. I think the best chance of low elevation snow are in January, frankly. And I think, I'm trying to remember where I did this. I predicted, or I estimated a 65% chance of low elevation snow in January. I think that's our best hope, if you like snow at low elevations. March, wet, windy, and wild again. Last year I predicted that the spring would be dry and mild because we'd had 2 wet, cool springs in a row, and I figured we can't get 3 in a row. We did. So now I'm going to predict wet, windy, and wild, and it'll probably be warm and sunny. But April, I said dry and mild, second half, dry and mild May. So that's my forecast from August, and I'm sticking with it. Analog years. We haven't heard too much about analog years today. Maybe we haven't heard anything. Pete's not here. That's true. I miss Pete Parsons. How many of you miss Pete Parsons? Yeah. Pete, we miss you.
He might just make an appearance here before the end of the day, so. Nobody knows that yet, though.
There's a teaser for you. So the idea here is that history tends to repeat itself. If you find past years that are substantially similar to this year, then it's likely that what happened later on in those years would be substantially similar this year. And the 2 indicators I looked at were the PDO, the long-term indicator, the multi-decadal indicator that we're hearing more and more about, and the MEI, which is basically the ENSO, short-term multivariate El Nino index, or ENSO index. And those are the analog years that I found that matched up the best. And none of them were perfect matches. The best match, oddly enough, was 2011, which really kind of puzzled me. And if you take a composite of those years, what you get is pretty much what my forecast said, and that is nothing really extreme, kind of shutting down and calming down in December, January, and then somewhat active early and late in the season. So, once again, I'm sticking with that. Now, I don't have a La Nala song. Do you know about La Nala? You know what that means? El Nino is a so-called warm event. Means the little boy, the child. Originally named by Peruvian fishermen because when this would happen, the waters off South America would warm up, fish would die. It was a big bummer for them. And it tended to happen around Christmas time, so they associated with the Christ child, and that's where the El Nino came from. The opposite of that, the cool event, where it gets a lot colder than average off the South American coast, we tend to call La Nina, which is the female version, the little girl child. Some people call it El Viejo, the old person, rather than El Nino, the child. And then the one in between that we're talking about now that Clinton called neutral, and so neutral, I like to call La Nada, which means the nothing. Or I have a friend that calls it No Nino. I don't have a La Nada song, sorry. But I have an El Nino song and a La Nina song, and I can do either one of them. The El Nino song, I've been doing for a long time. It's done to the tune of Fernando by ABBA. And the La Nina song, which a lot of you probably haven't heard, is done to the tune of My Girl by the Temptations. So, how many of you want the El Nino song? How many of you want the La Nina song? How many of you don't want a song at all? You can leave the room now. I've got to find a musical instrument around here. Do you think they keep any here?
I think they might have one. Look around the back. Drum roll.
There's a guitar back here. Okay. It's a need a lapel mic, I think, Steve.
Yeah, they have one, but it's not the best.
Oh, here's a little El Nino news item, by the way, from Reuters. The U.S. National Weather Forecaster has called off its El Nino watch 5 months after raising the alert, as it is now less likely that the much-feared phenomenon can wreak havoc on global weather will emerge. Isn't that a comfort? Can you see the words on that? Okay, okay. I think I do this in G. Yeah, we'll do it in G. If that doesn't work, I'll change the key. If you want to sing the kind of background part of this part, it's boom, 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 boom. Help me here, come on. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's enough of that. There's no sunshine in the skies today. It's gonna rain, rain, rain till the month of May. I guess you say, why do I get wet today, La Nina? Talking about La Nina, La Nina. Boom, 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 boom. Remember, we're not in a La Nina. This is just wishful thinking. Maybe next year. There'll be so much snow in the mountains this year. Lowland flooding, baby, is something to fear. I guess you say, why is there a flood today, La Nina? Talking about La Nina, La Nina. You guys are good. You caught on. I like it. So La Ninas are exciting in the Northwest and in the northern tier of states, but they're very dull in Southern Cal and Arizona, New Mexico, and all that because the jet stream is far away from them. So we got to have a verse to honor our brethren to the south. It's gonna be a dry, dry winter down in L.A. Drought in Arizona, all along the southern way. I guess you say, why is it so dry today, La Nina? Talking about La Nina, La Nina, talking about La Nina. Who can't hit that high note? La Nina. It might even rain today, La Nina. Probably will. Talking about La Nina.
Yeah!
Thank you. That's all I have. No geeky charts, no anything else. Just a song. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Taylor.
Yeah, baby.